Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the inaugural edition of the ETBU Tennis Coaches Show, our weekly discussion here with ETBU men's and women's tennis coach Joe Vann. Coach, getting ready here to actually get going with the thing you were brought on board here at ETBU to do about a year or so ago, and that was to kickstart the university's men's and women's tennis programs, and just a couple of days away from getting that started with a match over in Tyler against McMurray University. Coach, tell us a little bit about your journey here as far as getting the team ready and getting players and all that kind of stuff and getting them ready to go.
Well, thank you. When I first took the job here at ETBU, we had there was a club team that was already present here. I talked to a couple of those players in Alvaro Copa, Anthony Williamson, John Appleton, Mia Moore, Callie Kent, and they seemed very interested in playing tennis for the school. Along with them, through recruiting just around campus, we were able to put together a team for this first season. They're a very dedicated core group of kids. They came out to fall practice. They worked really hard. They play in our fall tournaments, and as we're going into the spring now, it's good. I think we're ready for the spring season, which is long. It's a long process with a lot of matches, but we're ready. They're ready.
You mentioned the little bit of action they got back in the fall. I think it was 3 tournaments that y'all were able to play. How important was that, again, in just terms of getting these players out there in this collegiate competitive atmosphere and away from the club atmosphere, but again, taking that next step into the collegiate? How big of preparation time was that for them in the fall?
Well, the fall's always big. It's one of those things where you don't ever want to really take it lightly. It's a very short, compact time. It's only about 6 weeks long. But during these tournaments, these all the incoming freshmen, they're basically freshmen, collegiate-wise, to athletic sports. But when they get to play in these tournaments, they get all the experience of playing college athletics. They get to see what all the other schools in the conference have to offer at these tournaments, and really are able to start applying the things that they're learning in practice and they've been working for, so that as the spring rolls around, they kind of know what to expect. They know who their competition's going to be, and they know what they need to do to be able to achieve the goal of getting a W.
You mentioned the fact that it's basically built around a core group of club players that were already here on campus. And the recruiting thing, again, basically was a timing thing. I mean, you came in at a time when you didn't really have a whole lot to recruit, so it's kind of fortunate, wouldn't you say, that you had some tennis, collegiate tennis quality players already here, and you were able to hit the ground sort of running a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was hired around February, the end part of February. Really didn't start full time until the end part of March. I was finishing up my my assistant coaching job at another collegiate school, and by that time, a lot of college kids pretty much already know where they're going to go to school. So it was very difficult to really get in and do a lot of recruiting for ETBU at that time. And luckily, these group of kids were already here. They had some friends on campus, and in talking with them, they were very enthusiastic about trying to play and were willing to take that extra step to work hard and train and do things that they originally didn't come to ETBU for. They came here for school, they came here for the academia and stuff, and for them to step up and say, hey, we want to play college tennis as well, and do as well as they've been performing so far to this point is a real testament to their determination and willpower to succeed at what they set out to do.
Well, of course, the Tigers will be playing home matches here, actually not on campus, of course, at ETBU. There is no current tennis complex or facility here on campus. I know there's some plans in the works for that. But you will begin at least your first year here over at Marshall High School. Tell us a little bit about the transition part of that, as far as a team having to go and do workouts and maybe the adjustment time that it takes to do something like that, as far as having to play off campus.
Well, I mean, it's always a hassle to kind of go off campus, but first off, Marshall High School has been very gracious to lend us their facilities. The head tennis coach there at the high school has been super fantastic about giving us court time. Really making every exception for us to be there on campus and share his facility with him. I can't begin to describe how grateful we are for that. But for the kids, they're so excited that there's tennis, there's that atmosphere here at ETBU, and they're so excited to be able to play college tennis that the drive over to the high school really it's not that big of a deal. They carpool a lot. They get there on time. They practice hard for their allotted period, and they get everything that they would get pretty much if they had a facility here. However, having a facility on campus is definitely the goal for ETBU. And having your own facility here will really kind of put the final staple in of ETBU becoming the full tennis prowess that they would like to have here at the university.
Tell us real quick again about obviously the American Southwest Conference has some nationally renowned programs tennis-wise, UT Tyler, Hardin-Simmons, a couple more. Going into it as a first-year program, that's got to be a kind of a daunting challenge to look up there and see those kinds of teams on the schedule. Just overall, how would you rate the conference as far as being a tennis league?
Well, I think the ASC conference it's very high. It's a very competitive conference. A lot of the schools are around the same ability level. I mean, there are some institutions that are nationally ranked at the time, or have been nationally ranked, multiple ones that in just the past couple of years. I think it's something that the ASC doesn't get enough credit for, mainly because the eastern and the western side of the United States is so highly packed with really, really high top quality teams that the central areas of Texas and so forth don't get quite as much credit as they deserve. But all the conferences have very good solid core group of kids, and between Hardin-Simmons and McMurray and Schreiner and Mississippi College and UT Tyler, having such success not only in the ASC tournament, but also once they get the bid into the NCAA tournament of winning a couple of rounds. It's a tough competition. It's a tough conference. But I think our kids are ready through the fall. Through playing some of those teams, they've seen what it's like, and I think they'll fare fairly well.
Well, again, it all starts on Friday with a match over there in Tyler against McMurray, and then the Tigers actually will play most of their early games. The first handful of matches or so will be on the road, and then that first home match over at Marshall High School will be on March the 2nd against University of the Ozarks. Coach, good luck this weekend. We'll come back here next week and talk about some of the matches that went on this weekend as we get everything started here.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bet.